those activities includes the BRAUN Civic Center. Fabulous venue. We'd like to also introduce Dorman Spencer from HEDDON Bowling Corporation, who's joining us. And Dorman, I'd like you to tell us about the first installation by HEDDON Bowling here at the ABC tournaments.
Well, it was a learning experience, that's for sure. We had 28 days to put the 48 lanes in, and we learned how that went in. But it turned out great, and everything's great. It's a nice facility. People here are wonderful, and so love to see the talent out here with the scores we've got, and everything's going great.
Okay, we're ready for our second match. Ron Papp.
Stick around, Dorman.
Stick around and call some action with us, if you would.
Okay.
Ron Papp is getting set to face Bobby Fleetwood.
And you got to wonder what's going through Ron Papp's mind right at this point when he just watched Bobby Fleetwood start with 9 in a row against Tito Semez.
Papp starts the right way, solid in the pocket. What kind of lane surface is that out there, Dorman?
Well, it's synthetic. It's a solid phenolic lane surface, or melamine. Same with the approaches.
You want to try to spell either one of those for me?
I don't think so. Not today.
Tell us about your new pin spotter device.
Well, we've developed a new pin setter. Unfortunately, it's not in here. We didn't have time to put together that many on the short notice that we had to put the equipment in. But hopefully next time we'll have it in. But it's a little innovative.
Solid 10 pin.
Solid 10.
Solid 10 for Fleetwood. On a good shot. He's still hitting that pocket. This is how he ended the first game, but remember he missed that 10 pin against Tito when it really didn't make any difference, but this one does, so he's going to have to pay attention here. Cross lane with his spare ball. You can see how he bends his wrist so he doesn't get any hook on this ball. He's going to try to throw it hard and straight right at it. And that wasn't real aggressive there. He did get it, but that's got to make him a little nervous. He leaves another one.
So we get a look at that ball return. Tell us about that with the extra features on the side there.
Well, when we brought that out onto the market, up on the top holds 14 bowling balls, and then we call them saddlebags down on the bottom, and it's 6 more balls. So basically in league bowling, a 2 5-man team could each have 2 bowling balls up on the rack at the same time. And with today's bowling and everybody using so many bowling balls, that's a good thing to have.
It is, yeah. That way you're not tripping over them in the back somewhere or stumbling or breaking your leg trying to crawl over the bowling balls when it's your turn to bowl. I think it's a great idea, don't it?
Fleetwood back in the pocket, striking second frame.
What we need to do is invent a pin setter that doesn't leave 10 pins.
No. No, wait a minute. How about one that doesn't leave 7 pins for us left-handers?
That'll work.
That'll work, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ron Papp, former PBA member. I talked to him about that, and he said that that he had dropped out of the PBA because he felt that he wanted to bowl a lot of amateur events, and that maybe later on in his career he'd come back and join the PBA again. He feels that with the amateur events that are available now, he can maybe have an opportunity to make a lot of money this summer.
Just a World Team Challenge.
One of those events, of course, is our favorite, the World Team Challenge. And, we're looking forward to a lot more of those coming up.
That's right. More Brunswick World Team Challenge coming up on this regional sports network. What happened here, Earl?
Well, you can see by his follow-through, he knew the ball was going to be high coming off his hand, and that's usually a mistake in your footwork getting to the foul line. And so what he tried to compensate with his release, and the ball just went left anyway. He had no chance to hold the line with that, and a tough spare, and he covers it.
We're all even, 2 frames in. Second match of the day. The winner here will go on to face Jason Queen in our semifinal match here at the 47th Annual ABC Bud Light Masters from the BRAUN Civic Center here in Huntsville, Alabama.
I'm sorry, Earl.
Go ahead, Dorman.
This section of the Civic Center was brand new. You know, it was they just got it finished before we started putting the lanes in.
Well, this is an addition on the BRAUN Center that was here before, so they've added what you might call a wing on here. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yes.
So this is huge. This is a pretty good addition here.
Yep. In fact, the ABC tournament was the grand opening event for this South Hall.
That's correct.
And the ABC tournament will continue into June.
For the spare, good cover there. playing an extreme outside angle. Most of the right-handers have not been out there. They've been from the second arrow in. So a little more critical shot out there when you're playing that far out, because the ball wants a duck hook on the back end. You have to be really, really good with your speed control.
In fact, speaking of the ABC tournament, Bobby Fleetwood bowled in this tournament 3 weeks ago and is currently 24th in singles with his 747 score. Third frame, looking to double.
Not having any problem at all getting the ball in the pocket area, just a matter of carrying, and he's only left 2 10 pins now in 13 tries, so he's had 11 strikes out of 13 shots. Not too bad. Pretty good percentage there.
12-pin lead, third frame.
Dorman, you mentioned that there were some weather problems while you were doing this installation.
Well,
Little excitement, huh?
Yeah, there was a couple of tornadoes that passed by real close a couple different times when I was here. I was also here for the big 4-inch snowstorm that they had, which is very unusual for the area.
Actually, a couple tornadoes passed by last night. They had to evacuate the building before one of the blocks of qualifying.
This is true. I was trying to fly in. Plane couldn't land last night.
Well, that one left his hand inside of his target, got in the oil, and held.
Fleetwood 3 in a row for a 22-pin advantage. Thank you, Dorman Spencer, Vice President of Sales at HEDDON Bowling, for joining us. And we'll be back with more of our second match from the Von Braun Civic Center in the ABC Bud Light Masters. Welcome back to the Von Braun Civic Center. Mike Jakubowski along with Earl Anthony in the ABC Bud Light Masters. Ron Papp strikes. 22 pins down here in the fourth frame.
We'll take a look at Bobby Fleetwood again going to the foul line. Now watch the style here from the side. This is a great shot. Very slow, deliberate footwork. See how strong that wrist position is at the top of the swing, and it stays there through the shot, rotates around the side and up, and that's what gives him all that rotation. Oh, I'm talking about Ron Papp. What am I thinking? Oh, sorry about that, but that was Ron Papp. Excuse me. Pappy knows better. Hey, I apologize, Pappy.
He has a chance here to cut the lead to 12 with a strike. Fifth frame.
Good shot. Outstanding shot. Both players. He's made a move. He's moved more towards the center lane. Got away from that outside angle. You can see, now watch where he throws this ball. Before he was outside the second arrow. Now he's right around that third arrow. Basically the same shot and same angle that Bobby Fleetwood is playing. So both players now playing the edge of the oil line, you might say. There is a crown out there. There's a little more oil in the middle of the lane than there is in the outside. That's what's generating most of these big high scores.
There's that 747 series. It currently has Fleetwood at 24th.
What a great shot this is. This is our definition of a sky camera right here.
All but the 4.
Here's another look at that shot. And again, it's going left out of his hand. He doesn't really quite trust it as much as he did some of the other shots. I like his rotation on the ball. It's excellent. It's creating a lot of energy in the back end.
Pin lead. Talk to Fleetwood. He loves bowling in this ABC tournament and Masters. He loves the setting, the prestige, and the pressure, believe it or not.
The pressure. Well, the format of this tournament, very briefly, is there were 540 entries, including the defending champion Ernie Schlegel. They cut to 144 after 2 5-game blocks of qualifying. That 144 bowlers then bowled another 5 games. We cut to the top 63. Got Ernie Schlegel, the defending champion, joined him, went into match play. Match play is 3 games, total pins on a pair of lanes against your opponent. Total pins wins the match, and 2 losses, and you are eliminated. Here's a look at that. Took 206.6 average for 10 games to make the first cut. And Mike, it went up a little higher from there.
Went up to a 211.3 for 15 games. And then those 63 players, like you said, plus Ernie Schlegel joined in 64. Here's our round-by-round leaders. Ryan Schaefer with an amazing 254 average over 5 games.
No, there's one of the bad breaks in the sport of bowling when you feel you've made a great shot and maybe got just a little bit too much hand or wrist into the shot. You can see the tremendous power and rotation on the ball. It grips the lane there, just overhits, just jams the 2 and the 4 into the side of the lane there and doesn't get to the 7 pin, and that can be very disheartening. But it's early in the match, still has plenty of frames left. This only the 6th frame. When the scores are this high, and you take a look there at Bobby Fleetwood sitting on the bench cleaning his shoe in preparation for his turn to bowl, when the scores are as high as they've been throughout the week, the players feel in their mind some pressure that they must shoot a big game. When they come over here to bowl the match, they feel like, boy, I've got to shoot a big game because I know he's going to. And that creates the kind of pressure where you don't make good shots. You're starting to aim the ball, try to fit it, rather than just let it swing and go through the shot and make that good free shot. And the ball doesn't hit as well, doesn't carry as well. And there's a little more ball speed, and you hit it harder. When you get more ball speed, you tend to, when you try to throw the ball harder, you tend to lift it harder, and so it breaks sharper on the back, and he gets the 6-7 split out of it. And there's some look at the stats on Ron Papp and how he got to this point.
5-2 in match play. Look at that match play average jump, 227.4. Taking out Del Ballard, Bobby Fleetwood.
Another tie you see there. He had a tie at 646.
More of the ABC Bud Light Masters coming up right after this. Mixing for the strike and the double. Putting some pressure on Ron Papp.
You can almost call the shot. Once a player throws a ball a little bit high, he tends to get the next one a little bit light, even though it's not even the same lane. And this is just a normal response out of a good bowler. Bowlers that are extremely talented tend to make adjustments without even thinking about it, based on the reaction of the last shot. And a kind of a disappointed looking Ron Papp sitting on the bench. His nickname is Pappy. Taking a lot of time here, and really getting out of the ball well now, making good shots, nice clean release, great rotation. Here's another look at that shot. Gets the ball well out in the lane in front of him. That's very important, that you don't throw it out there, but you carry it out there with your fingers, and you can see the good result. A real look of determination now on Ron Papp's face. He knows that he is running out of frames very fast. The most he can shoot at this point, 223. His opponent going at a 239 pace. Actually 229, I should say. So it's still a match. Anything can happen, and usually does in the game of bowling. Ron Papp checking the huge scoreboard that's over the lanes here at the American Bowling Congress. It's an amazing facility. And there's a look at it, and I'll tell you what, as we pan back down to the lanes, you can see the panoramic view of what the players see when they're preparing to bowl. Since 1980, we've had the computerized scoring here at the American Bowling Congress Championships, and I remember the good old days when the guys used to walk around up there, and we had the scorekeepers hanging up the strikes and the spares and the splits and all that. It was great, the nostalgia. But the ABC is progressing like everybody else into the computer age, and this is what we have now, these great scoreboards that can do almost anything. Tough spare here, the 3-6-10, cross lane with his spare ball.
You're not dating yourself there, Earl, are you?
Well, I've been told about that stuff. Yeah, no, I bowled many ABCs and really enjoyed it. I love the ABC tournament.
Here's Fleetwood bowling well.
And he has really got this match all locked up. And now it's just a matter of maintaining the concentration level and preparing for the next match by continuing to make good shots. Don't get lazy. Don't get careless. There again, that 4-pin going straight back, and that little different carry that we haven't seen for a long time. In fact, I don't remember seeing that very often unless a player is playing an extreme inside angle, and he is not. Fleetwood playing more of an outside angle. But you can see the 4-pin scooting backwards there. Here's the Bucks, Mike.
Total prize money of $250,000, $50,000 on top, and the Frank K. Baker Memorial Trophy. Earl, you've got 2 of those at home.
I have bookends. Yeah, I love them. They're great. I only have one at home now because the other one is in the American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame, but they're beautiful, beautiful trophies. What a wonderful tournament this is to win. It's something that every bowler should aspire to do, because this is the grandfather of all match game tournaments. The American Bowling Congress Masters Championships is the tournament that I always wanted to win the most.
And this is the original arena atmosphere.
Oh, this is as good as it gets, in my opinion. I just love this. You've probably seen more exciting venues at times on the Pro Bowlers Tour, possibly, but this has all the history and all the drama of what this game was created to be right here.
Oh my, bedposts.
Good bowling, good tournament.
Well, that will be enough to move on to face Jason Queen in our semifinal match. What a tournament for Ron Papp, though.
Well, you said it, didn't you? See, you're trying to get us to say it. You're trying to get us to say that, weren't you? He won a Masters event in New Jersey to get to this point, and it's been a real run for him. You can see Ron a little disappointed in how things turned out, probably very disappointed. I would be. But when he looks back at this and goes home and thinks about it, this is going to be the jump start he needs to the rest of his career as an amateur bowler. He's planning to go out, as I mentioned, and take a run at some of the big tournaments against some of the outstanding amateurs like Chris Barnes. And guess who was in the spacesuit out there, folks? There's a prize for this. You'll never guess.
Who?
Tim Mack, one of the fine amateur bowlers in the country, just a young man himself, the ex-linebacker for Penn State, was our spaceman today in the suit.
In our opening. There's Papp finishing up, finishing 4th.
Not a bad check.
His best finish in the Masters. You can sort of see his girlfriend right behind him in the white. That's
she doesn't
Tracy.
look real happy. And
we were trying to figure out yesterday during the match play who was more nervous, Tracy or Ron. She was pacing around, and he was bowling. And finishing off his style, there's Ron Papp. The American Bowling Congress annual convention allows delegates to vote on legislation concerning its membership. And this year, the American Bowling Congress paid special tribute to Executive Director Darrell Dobbs, who passed away in February.